Hey, thank you for that hi back. I'm glad to see you all. What is this? Oh, okay, don't need to see that. Okay. So a reminder tomorrow is we are going to do, so this is our win time, WIN. So what I need, so there's no live science tomorrow. Okay. There is 12 to 12:30. Um, uh, this would be a help session, and I will send out. Okay, so help session. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to target, okay, the people that have 40 to 50% for now. We are, where's percent? Okay. So I'm going to try to help people get their grades up, and then 315 to 345. Okay. Still going to do the same. If you think that you need some more help, if you're passing my class, um, I can help give you some recommendations on how to get a better grade. But as far as the 40 to 50% people, I think we can get them up. We are only at 25% passing rate. Of the 40 people, we only have 10 people that are passing, and probably the 10 people that are passing are right here. So, okay, so again, so I will I will email you a link. So email a link. Let me see, where am I going to put that? Email a link. Email a link because it's more than one for the big blue button session. Okay. C is good, but if you want to get, again, you can fix your grade, Kamaya, by just doing a, like if you have like um, on let's say W6 assignment 1, and you've got a 10 out of 15 on that, you can fix that. You can make that 15 out of 15, right? You can make that 15 out of 15. That's all, any of the assignment 1s and assignment 2s are unlimited. So you can do that. Assignment 1, the quizzes, you get 2 chances at. If you've already taken your 2 chances, ask for a third chance on that. You can do that as well. But that's how you do that. Just kind of go in, fix those low grades, right? Hey, Janaya. So C is good, but you can get it up there, especially if you're caught up. Now, if you are behind, so the thing about being behind, okay, what you need to do, right? So let's say you didn't do W14, okay? Um, and you did the tests, okay? So you need to do the test W14. But if you don't do W14 and make sure W15 is done by the end of the week, then your grade it'll go up momentarily, but as soon as W15 comes due, auto grade comes in, and then it brings it back down. So you have to do, if you're behind on something, you have to do one old, and one new, right? You got to do that. You got to do, so if you're doing, you can get your grade up if you're behind on stuff by doing 2 assignments, let's say every week. Okay. Actually, you're doing week 14 and week 15. If you do that, then your grade will go up. So you're doing 6 assignments instead of 3 assignments every week until you get caught up. And then when you do that, you've got plenty of time. You got 4 weeks to do that. And you got the spring break, which is 2 weeks. So you can do that very easily. Again, depends on your home situation and what's going on there. If you got computer access, if you're going to someplace far away. So today what we're going to do, and I appreciate you guys coming in, everybody, Tanisha, Shauna, and Zaria, Madison, Jeremy, Jasmine, Janaya, Brent, good to see you, and Bradley. So we're getting a lot less people these days, right? 13 is out of 40, not very good showing. So let me get this going for you guys, because this balancing chemical equations unfortunately comes at a time when we're at state testing. So you're pretty much on your own, except for me, these talking heads, okay? So hopefully you get the gist of it. But this part, what we're talking about now, is the part that is counting atoms that makes all the difference. If you know how to count atoms, balancing an equation will be a lot easier. It's kind of like knowing your integers, positive and negative numbers, before you do algebra. If you know those, it comes in a lot easier. Unfortunately, there's no calculator for counting atoms. But there probably is. I bet you there is. I never thought about that. There probably is something that does that for you. All right, so let me clear off my screen here. And let's get we're going to do a lot of poll questions today, because I want to know if you understand what's going on with these things. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've been talking about. All right, so here we are. We are in this situation here where we're transitioning between models, right? So we were looking at models of elements, compounds, and elements, molecules, and compounds. Now we're going to look at chemical formulas here instead of the pictures, okay? And we're going to be talking about subscripts and coefficients, right? So that's what makes it transitioning from something that you can take a look at, to chemical formulas, right? So here is an example of why we're getting you ready. This is an Ohio State test, Ohio test. All right, question. And this is a bio question. It looks like chemistry, doesn't it? Okay, you guys are going to take biology if you haven't done it in 10th grade. And here you go. Doesn't that look like something that I would give you for an test question? Sure was. Okay, so there's a good reason that we are doing this stuff, because that's the information that they want you to know. Ohio is testing you as well as we are testing you. So here is the poll question I'd like you to ask here. So let me start a poll, and let us look at ABC and see if you can tell me if these pictures, these models from yesterday, if we look at the models from yesterday, are those element molecules, are they compounds, or are they atom elements? Element atoms. Atoms, are they atoms or are they molecules? Are they atoms, or are they molecules, or compounds? All right, thanks for those people that got that in there. Bradley, thanks. Brent, Jeremy, anybody else? There's a lot of people in here that are not putting anything in there. Janaya, Jasmine, anything you guys can do to help me understand, because I really don't get a chance to ask people. They don't tell me up front how they got what they got. All right, so I got compounds for some. I got 5 people so far. And there's Mariana. I know Mariana always works on these things. Thanks, Mariana. And Madison does too. And Janaya, she says hello to me all the time. Come on, guys, let's get everybody in there. Let's see what happens here. All right, no hanging back. No hanging back today. Thanks, guys. All right, thanks, Shayana and Bradley. Come on, Victoria, Mariana, Janaya. All right, maybe not, maybe not. Maybe they stepped away. Okay, so I got, most people said B. Oh, okay. So whoever said A is not right. And I got one person that said C, and that is correct. All right, C, right? Let me show you what this is. C, atom, these are elements. Okay, the individual atoms. If it was an element compound, or if it was a compound, okay, compounds, let me write this down. Let's write this out for you. So you got 2 more chances here to do better. All right, so remember, compounds in a model form are 2 or more different atoms or colors. Okay, in this particular case, colors. So, and then they're bonded, okay? Right, so compounds look like that. Element molecules look like the same, okay, same color, two or more. Okay, so, and they're bonded. So this would be an atom, an element molecule. I have a bond between them, the same thing. This is a hydrogen, this is a hydrogen. Okay, also could be this way if this was a hydrogen too. Now a compound would look like this. This would be totally different. This would be a different color, and let's say this is the carbon, carbon, hydrogen, and hydrogen. So a compound has to have two different, and an atom, this is an atom element because, let me erase all this. Oop, erase all. Okay, not going to erase all. All right, if this is an atom element, erase all. It's an atom element because they're single. They're not bonded to each other. Okay, let's go to this next one. All right, so this one you should be able to do. Start a new poll, A, B, or C. What do you think this one is? We already know it's not an element atom, so it's either an element molecule or a compound. All right, got two people. Thanks, Kamaya. Thanks, Brent. Thanks, Madison. All right, got three people. Okay, I know you guys are probably test wary, or test. You're tired of testing. Weary. All right, let's get some more people in there. Got four. I got Brent, Jeremy, and Kamaya. So am I only teaching to them? All right, I got more people. Okay. So far, Brent is the only one that's got the right answer. Okay, so it is a molecule. Okay, same color. So this is oxygen. This is oxygen, let's say, right? An element is the same, but two or more are the same. Compound are different. So let's take a look at the next one. What will this one be? What about this one? What's this one got to be? We already used A and we already used C. People want to keep calling it the compound. Remember, it's got oxygen and two hydrogens, at least from my color coding, right? You don't have to know that, but you see by the colors, it's a different element altogether. All right, got more people. We got five, 6 out of 13, half the class. All right. All right. So, okay. So we're moving on to from away from the drawing. So the drawing looked like this: hydrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, and we have, this is your water molecule, H2O1. Okay. And it has one oxygen here but we don't have to write that. So we don't write that in there. Okay, we don't write the one. That's the chemical formula we're going to use. We can identify a chemical formula. Example chemical formula: water, H2O, means two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. Remember I said the one doesn't have to be written there, but because it has a one, or it is there, it is considered one. So it's like your algebra x plus 5, right? That's kind of, you could say that's 1x, right? 1x. We use the chemical formula. It's easier than the drawing. Yep, it is, because they get pretty big. So here is a compound. Right? Two hydrogens, one oxygen. Here is carbon just by itself. So that's an element. Okay. and it's a atom because it's in a single. Okay, here is oxygen. So oxygen looks like this, oxygen and oxygen. So that's a molecule, that's an element and a molecule because there's two. Here for sure, this is a compound. All right, many different elements. So we got carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. This is a compound. Okay, it's carbon and hydrogen. And this is a compound. So how you can tell the difference is the different letters. Different letters, okay? Different letters. Okay, here it's same letter, right? That makes an element. Okay, so that's the formula for water, H2O. H2O, we've talked about as a compound, right? How many atoms in a single water molecule? Let's take a look. In the formula, do we add them? There are two hydrogen atoms, one oxygen atom. Remember, I can put that one by there for a total of three total atoms. So this is what we're going to be doing today. So if you can get on board with this, we're going to find out how many atoms of each particular one. So how this works. Okay, so let's look at CH4. Okay, if I asked you how many C's, carbons, how many carbons, you'd say there's one because there's no subscript. If I asked you how many hydrogens, you'd say there's four. If I asked you the total, you'd say there's five. I add 1 plus 4, it gives me 5. 1 plus 4, it gives me 5. Okay, last hour when I asked this question, I got C equals 4. And I'm not sure why they thought. Maybe they were thinking this number goes to this and this. It doesn't. It goes to the number that is what they call the subscript, the number to the right and below. Subscript means below. Script means writing, below the writing line. Okay, so subscript means below. All right, so let's take a look at this one. Start a poll. All right, so I'm going to click on this. Okay, so how many? So like, or just looking at the carbon atoms, C-A-R-B-O-N, and I am going to open up a breakout room, carbon atoms, C. Tell me how many in this sugar molecule. Okay, and let's see here. We're going to do this as a typed response. How many? Put the number there. How many carbon atoms? If you're following along with what I said, how many carbon atoms in C6H12O6? C6H12O6. Hey, thanks, Jasmine. Thanks, Zaria. Come on, Victoria, Tanisha, Shauna, Mariana, Madison. All right, thanks. Jeremy, anybody else? All right. And Kamaya, thank you. And Shayana, thank you. Anybody else? 5 out of 12. How about you, Janaya? How about you, Brent? Thanks, Madison. Okay, so can you ask? I'm going to ask a question. All right, so if I send a person a chat message, I'm really curious because I got some person has said 2. Most people have said 6. Most people said 6. I have a 2. All right, so let's go. Let's see what happens here. 6 is right. All right, because if you take a look at this, okay, if I write this bigger, C6, the 6 goes with the carbon. So let's look at the hydrogen, all right? How about the hydrogen? H equals, typed answer, start a poll. How many H's there? How many H's there? Thanks, Jasmine. And Zaria, Kamaya, anybody else? Tanisha, Shayana. Seems pretty straightforward, but it's not. It's not very straightforward all the time. All right. And again, like I said, I've been doing it for 30 years and it makes sense to me, but doesn't necessarily make sense to you as your first go around on this, right? All right. Thanks, Madison. All right. So we got, all right. So everybody got this one right. Hydrogen 12. How about the oxygen? One last one. Okay. Let's do this one. How many oxygen there? Thanks, Jasmine. Brent. Thanks, Brent. All right. I put a question in the chat there for most people. There, I got somebody that's got 2. Another person's got a lot of people got a 6, and it is a 6. So if you could answer me the question, if I sent you a text message, how did you get the 2? I really would like to know because I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Some people looked at this last hour and they said, well, if I divide 6 into 12, that'll give me 2. Okay. Okay. I don't remember saying that. Divide by 6 by 2, or there are 2 sixes. Somebody said, well, there are 3 numbers. So that's how I got 3, 6, 12, and 3. And I'm just saying that the oxygen, the number below and to the right tells us how many atoms. Okay. Oxygen has 2. Okay, this one is the one that I'm going to do. All right. How many? Now, this is total atoms. Now, this is not asking for how many carbons and how many hydrogens. This is asking for how many total atoms. Total atoms. You know, guys, I assume that people are here to learn and they want to be here. Again, I'm assuming too much probably. Some people don't want to be here, but most of the time you're coming to class and you're participating. I'm assuming that you do. And I'm going to take the look here that this is, I'm helping people that want to learn. Okay. Now, let me help you out a little bit. There's a 1 in front of that carbon. So does that change your number in between the carbon and the hydrogen? Does that change the number at all? Okay, if it does, tell me in the private chat. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so this is one of those goofy ones, right? This is the goofy one where it tells you you miss that particular one, right? I got most people said 4, but that's the one that's tough. All right. So there are 3 things we need to know when we're counting atoms. We need to know first off the chemical symbol, okay? Because the chemical symbol right? Can be a large capital letter with a small lowercase, or it could be just the letter, the capital letter, right? But what they try to fool you on, and I've seen this before, capital letter, lower O, lowercase o, is different than CO, capital, because that tells us that there's two elements. This tells us it's just an element, right? So when I look at the chemical formula, Li2O3, right? I have to separate those. I don't separate the this L and the I. Okay. I have to separate the capital and the lower. So I have to put the line here, not there. So there are two atoms, two elements here, right? Lithium has 2 and oxygen is 3. So you have to be real careful about the upper and lower case, right? So another thing, elements, periodic table of elements, right? Periodic table of elements, compounds aren't there. No way, compounds aren't there. We don't put CO in there. We have carbon and oxygen, but this is carbon monoxide. So we don't have that in the periodic table. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do for you guys, I'm going to check you out with this quizzes. And I want you to do, so if you please partake in a group for me, that would be great. To see how well you do, I will pull out the people that either did not do it or scored poorly to put you in a breakout room and we'll go over them. Now, again, it's up to you if you want to do that, but again, I would recommend it. So we're going to start alive and we're going to do classic team mode. Okay, now once I do team mode, you can't get in once it starts. Okay, so please get in the team mode early here. All right, I'm going to clear the chat. All right, team mode. Right, please get as many people as possible in here. All right. So most of my time tomorrow is probably going to be put into helping you guys that are between 40 and 50% so that we can bring up our passing rate to 50% or better. And I'll probably have more time to call home. So if you want a good message for home, thank you very much. Your child is doing really well. Let me know if you want to call home. That if you don't want to call home and you want me to just say some nice things about you, then get participating, right? Participate. I like to give people participation points and I like to give people praise for that. Okay, so go on in there, ladies and gentlemen. Did I not publish it? I probably didn't, did I? No, I didn't. You found it all on your own there. Thanks, Brent. You saw it from the link there. Thank you much.